Big development yesterday. The first drug proven to slow the progression of Alzheimer's has just been approved by the FDA in the U.S. The new drug, lecanemab, is waiting for approval here in Canada. This is being called a huge step forward for Alzheimer's treatment. And here this morning to share more about the drug is Dr. Donald Weaver, Director and Senior Scientist at the Krembil Research Institute at the University Health Network. Welcome back. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
So how does lecanemab work when it comes to treating Alzheimer's?
So lecanemab works by binding and preventing this protein, which is called amyloid, from clumping up and accumulating in the brain. And there's lots of people who think that amyloid is the key to what causes Alzheimer's disease.
What was your reaction when you learned the approval had come through yesterday?
Well, this is exciting in our world because this is what we call a disease-modifying drug. This is the first one ever approved. So it's not a cure, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, almost in 2020, these numbers are surprising. Almost 600,000 Canadians were reported to be living with Alzheimer's or dementia. As you mentioned, lecanemab, not a cure for Alzheimer's, but it can slow progression. How does that change the story for people with a diagnosis?
I think that's still open to debate. The studies show that it improves your memory by 27%. What does that exactly mean? I think the most tangible way of looking at this is that you may be able to stay at home 6 months longer. You may be able to recognize and interact with your family at a more meaningful level for 6 months longer. And, you know, maybe people would say 6 months isn't that long. It's a huge amount of time.
Amazing amount of time. Can you take it at any point in your diagnosis? Do you have to be at a certain point?
Yes, that's an important point. You have to be either in the very early stages of Alzheimer's disease or just before it in something that we call mild cognitive impairment. Once the disease is well developed, we don't know if it works, but the studies haven't addressed that. And early, before its symptoms first appear, it also hasn't been studied in that group.
I remember you telling us this from our last interview. Go and get checked early. Don't be afraid.
Yes, that's right.
For reasons like this.
Yeah, if you have memory problems, go to your physician, your healthcare provider, and start to work out what this is.
Are there cases where lecanemab might not work?
Yes, and so lecanemab works against this protein called amyloid. All dementia is not Alzheimer's. All dementia does not have amyloid in it, and so it will only work in a very specific group of individuals.
Okay. Lecanemab was submitted for approval, as we mentioned,
Yes.
here in Canada in May. Will this approval in the United States speed things along for us here in Canada?
We have independent processes, but shall we say it won't hurt.
Okay.
And as American experience with this drug accumulates, that will help other countries in their decision-making process.
It's an exciting development for sure. We're so glad you're here to talk more about it with us.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.